Former Manchester United midfielder Paul Pogba has been banned from football for 4 years. Welcome to the United Hotspot. It's sad news concerning a player we once all loved and adored, Paul Pogba, who is being likened to the mighty Kobe Maino now. I think if there's one player Man United supporters loved, it was Paul Pogba. No wonder we bought him twice. We signed him twice. We got him from Le Havre as a kid. He played for 2 years for the academy, got into the senior team, sold him, and bought him back from Juventus for 80 million pounds. Now that was a record back then. You remember the biggest trend at that time was Pogba. And what a player he was in that time. Of course, we never saw him realize his full potential. We always knew it. But even at his second best or third best, Paul Pogba was a star in Man United, known for many assists, powerful displays, and many fans really fell in love with him. And no wonder when you talk about Kobe now, many want to relate him to Paul Pogba. I feel like that's a bit of an under comparison, but some feel that Kobe Maino is not up there yet. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about Kobe. I'm here to talk about Paul Pogba and what lessons we should learn from his gone career. 30 years of age as we speak now. He's a Juventus player, signed a 4-year contract, but he has barely kicked a ball. Last season, I think he played just over 100 minutes across the entire season, and he played about so far this season. I think I played about 51 minutes or thereabout for the Serie A side. Even when the day he was tested for test and was given a random test, when a random sample was taken from him, they were playing Udinese and he was on the bench. He did not play at all in that game. He has been struggling, to be honest, ever since he left Manchester United as a free agent. Now, it is bad now that just a few years later, it's emerging that things are heading south. Just recently, we're hearing reports that Pogba would be returning to football. And he was in an interview with Al Jazeera saying he wants to be happy again. He had his own issues with his family. We cannot know what exactly is the truth about the issues. He gave his side of the story. He thought he had people, especially his brother, backstabbing him and all because of his money and stuff. But I think for us as is to focus on the football. This is a boy, and you see how, like they say, once a red devil, always a red devil. And for Pogba, who played for us twice, he's even a different and more special player. Now, the reality is, Paul Pogba, to many, he did not achieve his full potential because of his character. And maybe these are the things that are beginning to come out now. The banned substance that was found in his blood, testosterone, is is of course one that makes athletes perform better, increases their energy. So the testosterone metabolites will make an athlete more energetic. That's why it's banned. And in the world anti-doping agency, they put a lengthy ban of 4 years to anyone found positive to test positive with it. So this is not the thing of the anti-doping agency of Italy. It's the World Anti-Doping Agency standard that anyone found positive of that with that, they're banned for 4 years. Of course, Pogba, in his defense, is saying he never intended, if it's positive, he never intended to take it, and so does his agent. Of course, that's what they have to say. We may not know. Now, there are so many ways perhaps you can take it in, and well, people still will say why him and and stuff. But again, these are athletes who have got a lot of money. He had issues with his brother. You never know. Maybe it was planted. We cannot know how it got into his body. But the reality is, at 30 years of age, he will be 33 at the time. By the time the ban expires, remember he can't play football anywhere in the world, not just in Italy, anywhere in the world now. He will be 33 by then because the ban goes back to August when the first test was made and confirmed, because they made the first test in August and and then the confirmation in October. It was first suspended for a month of September before confirmation. Then he said saying he's going to appeal this to the world to the to the court of arbitration for sport. That's what he says, of course, trying to fight for his name. But the reality is the damage has been caused and it is collateral. But question is, for the young players, and United now is in a stage where we are looking at the academy as our future. We are looking to rebuild this team. Now, the question is, what lessons can we as a club in this process of rebuilding learn from the Paul Pogba ordeal? But most importantly, what can the young players, the Kobe Mainos, the Leandro Garnachos, all these so many young players we have coming up through the academy, the Cambualas, name them. What can they learn from the Kobe, the Paul Pogba story. The reality is, it is a sad story. You can see how you go from hero to villain in just a small, a small period, and that's for me the biggest issue. And that's why my other channel, the Uplift Causes, of course, no, it's the Uplift Causes channel. I did start a mental health organization to try and support these athletes with their mental health. Paul Pogba, in his interview with Al Jazeera recently, was talking about his mental health and how it was a problem for him, and he just wanted to be happy, even didn't care about how much money he had and stuff. But the reality is, these young footballers need a lot of support. And I'm hoping that these clubs, as and Man United especially, as we do rebuild this club, we focus so much on how we are going to help uh, guide these players to support them with their mental health. Because the reality is, at times, this so much money, like Sir Jim Ratcliffe put it when he was referring to the Mason Greenwood situation. At times, these players really do not know what they are doing. They are young players who did not grow up with so much. Then they get a lot of money, and you see, money can make you do things you would never have imagined you would do. And that's exactly perhaps what we can think of when you think about players like Mason Greenwood, players like Paul Pogba, even Dani Alves from Barcelona. He's not our legend, but we saw what happened with him as his legendary status is being evoked by Barcelona, and it's a it's a bad thing, but you see, at times it may not be avoidable, especially if these players are not supported by the people around them. Now, Sir Jim, as he looks to rebuild this team, that is one of the things he's set to focus on, and he's set to put in place systems that are going to support these young players be able to make, first of all, put good use to their money. He's the best businessman in the UK, so certainly he will know a thing or two about how to invest the pound right. So perhaps he's going to put in place guys to support these players on how, where to invest and how to invest. I don't know that he'll sell shares in his companies for his players, who knows. But the thing is, money can make these players do crazy things, and that's why they need all the guidance they can get. For me, Paul Pogba is a victim of lack of support around him, and him going to a stage of falling out with his brother and family. It shows you that he did not have the right people around him. We see this boy Marcus Rashford almost taking the same direction. Pogba has resisted the statement and is saying, "I have today been informed of the Tribunal National Anti-Doping's decision and believe that the verdict is incorrect. I am sad, shocked, and heartbroken that everything I have built in my professional playing career has been taken away from me. When I am free of legal restrictions, the full story will become clear. But I have never knowingly or deliberately taken any supplements that violate anti-doping regulations. As a professional athlete, I would never do anything to enhance my performance by using banned substances and have never disrespected or cheated fellow athletes and supporters of any of the teams I have played for or against. As a consequence of the decision announced today, I will appeal this before the Court of Arbitration for Sport." That's his official statement from Pogba. But going back to the lessons, these players do need a lot of support because, and the money is just increasing every day. It's getting crazy lately. The football markets are so inflated that players now, look at this Jadon Sancho. He's failing to play football now. He can't play football. He was before the biggest, greatest talent from England. Perhaps was looked at as the future greatest star to come out of England. But he cannot even play for Borussia Dortmund. Even the Borussia Dortmund coach is talking about him as the worst player on the pitch. So these players need all the support they can get. And as we do rebuild Manchester United, I'm hoping that Ineos and Sir Jim put together structures that are going to help these young players be able to put good use to make good use of their money. But most importantly, to stay grounded and focus on the game and just keep enjoying football without looking at anything that are going to destroy that. Marcus Rashford is almost gone. We were all talking about him leaving Man United. It's said that him and Eric Ten Hag are not exactly on the best talking terms now. You saw what's happening with him. We may not know if Kobe Maino doesn't get the support. He's currently having a contract giving him, I think, tops £20,000 per week. Very soon he could be earning 150 or more than 5 times that. What we don't know what could become of him. We all know what money can do to you. The more money you get, the more problems you get. Paul Pogba is a World Cup winner. He has done it. He has been the star of all stars. He has been the most talked about player at some point. He has been selling jerseys like no one. But right now, everything, like he has said in his statement, that he worked for in sport in his career is being taken away. Maybe it's his fault, maybe it's not, but there is a lot we can learn from him, that these players need all the right support they can get. And as clubs now, I think the clubs now have got a huge job to do to put in place those systems. Before, the managers had a bit of a say on that. Back then, the Sir Alex Ferguson, like for example, at Man United, had a bit of a say to help these players, make them become the good men and strong characters they are now. Today, football is different. There are so many clever people coming around these players to confuse them, making them, forcing them into the wrong decisions. So there is a lot clubs have got to do to support these young players. Otherwise, it is sad what is happening to Paul Pogba. Trust you me, even this Saudi money that is there and slacking all over, probably they would have wanted to take him in Saudi. And he makes money for himself, redeem himself. He can't, because he has been banned completely from the game. When he comes back at 33, 3 years from now, really, what will be left of him? Football will have moved on completely. He will not be as fit. Perhaps he will just not return to playing football. And yet, he seems to have lost a lot. He seems to have lost, and with this doping statement, who knows what's going to happen in France? He will not be getting the best treatment from France, obviously. So yet he's a World Cup winner, one of their best players. He missed the last World Cup again because of such issues. So you think about it and you say, it's sad this is happening to such a player who was loved by so many, but it is a life lesson to all the young players and all of us, not just in football, but most importantly, mental health is important. Paul Pogba needs all the support he can get now for his mental health. All these players need support for their mental health, because trust you me, it's never easy. Mental health is real, and in football, in sport, it's even worse. It's insane, guys. It's so insane. So I hope we find ways of supporting this young man. I hope ways are found. But it's a sad day for us as the Red family, because no hard feelings. We loved Pogba, put in his hard yards. I remember some beautiful passes he used to give to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I loved their friendly affair, between the romance between the two on the pitch, and off it, by the way. But it's sad it all ends like this. Unfortunately, I'm also ending it here. Subscribe to the United Hotspot.